Welcome back. I want to show you what we did last time, or what I did. And I putzed with my centers a little bit. I think it's really important to mention that I learned a method of doing centers from an amazing artist named Kimberly Deene, D-E-E-N-E. And my centers are similar to hers, and I use some different tools and some different types of ink. But if you want to make centers that will literally jump off the page, I would suggest that you check her out. She does have classes online, and just Google Kimberly Deene classes and you will find her. And actually, I could probably link her to the page that the videos are on if you're interested in her classes. So yeah, she's wonderful, and I really needed to give credit where credit is due, because I learned a lot from her. And like I said, I use a little different style and tools because I don't want to use her methods completely. That would not be good, but she's amazing, and she's got a really fun group that I'm in. It's a private group, so check her out. Anyways, we're going to make some multicolored blooms now, and I'm also going to create kind of a background, and I'm going to make a little green kind of around the corners. And for that, and remember, if you get low on alcohol, and I mean, you can use it up really fast. You get low on alcohol, it's 91% isopropyl alcohol. Anything less than that's not going to work. But some people use, if you can't find it, and you can get Everclear. You can use Everclear. There's 99% isopropyl. Just be careful with the fumes. I think a lot of people that use Everclear find that it actually it feels safer. It doesn't have quite the fumes that the isopropyl alcohol does. So anyway, I'm gonna take a little bit of ink around my edges here. And remember, I don't have green, so I'm going to make it. So we actually might get kind of a cool effect. And remember, my house is cockeyed, so things are dripping the way they want to go. And that's just fine. So I'm going to add a little yellow. Just kind of blow that around a little. Actually, a little more alcohol. Make some cool drips. Oops. Not super concerned about filling in the sides, but we can work on it. Okay. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit. And actually, I'm going to take a paper towel. I'm going to dab it. I'm going to show you kind of an effect, and it's going to dry it. And remember, this is kind of our background, so it's not that big of a deal, but you can see it. And speaking of, if you notice, my hands are horrendous, and they're almost always like that. You can remove the ink with alcohol, or actually hand sanitizer works quite well. I found that out using hand sanitizer all the time. But yeah, that works pretty well. And some people have actually used it as kind of a blending solution. So, you know, there's all kinds of things you can try if it's got alcohol in it. I'm actually just going to go just a tiny bit like this here. Okay. What orientation here? Maybe we'll go with this orientation. I'll dab it again. Like I said, I want it to be dry. And what we're going to do, we're going to make kind of a purple flower. I'm gonna make it over here, and that's that. This is the squirty one. I don't want that one. Forgetting. So I'm going to put a couple drops of each, and our paper's bigger, so we've got a little more room to work with. Make sure that it's actually in your view. My video setup is like pretty much childlike at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing 4 drops of this, and I'm going to dry it. And I'm doing mine off to the side. You can do yours wherever you want. I'm just kind of showing you. This is a more advanced one. The main idea of this class is to get, to get a result like this. So you understand how to make blooms. So this is just for fun. It's kind of an extra. It's not quite dry. That's fine. I'm going to just put 2 drops of blue on it. So we got kind of a purple situation going on there. Before it gets too dry, I'm going to just start blowing it out. And when I go this way, I don't care that it goes off the paper. I'm kind of going to go like this. And I'm actually going to show you, if it works out right, I'm going to show you a little bit of a different center. So all right, there we go. See, we're getting that color. This almost looks a little like a, is that a bird of paradise flower? I'm not sure. Anyway. Almost looks like a butterfly. This would be a good abstract activity. I'm just putting a little bit on the edge here because I don't really want too much. I want it to be light. So I'm just blowing out and seeing what happens. So if you notice, I used a lot of alcohol on that one. This is just totally free play. I didn't actually intend to do a video of this more advanced one, but I just thought it would be fun. Okay, so if you notice, I just really put a lot of alcohol here and just kind of blew it out to see what would happen. I kind of hate this because it looks like weird fingers or something, so I'm just gonna try to smooth that out a little or make something more interesting there. There we go. And I'm really blowing kind of hard on this. Kind of a tendril thing. Okay, so in the middle, actually I'm going to get a paper towel because it's kind of spitty. It's kind of funky. Kind of give it a different, unique look. Kind of a little more textured, actually. Okay, that's bugging me right there. There. right, I'm going to take and put a couple drops right in where I kind of perceive the center, and I'm just going to let it go out and do its thing. And you can see it's kind of making its own center. Try to move it a little bit to the left. Kind of going in a circle. One more drop of alcohol right there, and then I'm going to leave it because I'm going to end up going overboard, and then I won't be happy. So some of you have both classes. If you have the abstract class, this would probably be a good one to work with because you have quite a few elements. You have some flowers in the background that I can kind of see. There I have that weird finger looking thing again. And defining petals and such. So, and I'm not going to do that in this class. It is a different class, but this would be something that you could take further and take that abstract class and work with it. So I'm gonna kind of tap this a little bit and make, it's kind of hard because if you get too much, you'll be in trouble. Just kind of make some little dots here. I'm gonna put another drop in the center. And I think I'm going to drop some yellow in the center. One drop of yellow. Okay, so now you see how the yellow reacts with some of the colors, and you'll see there's kind of some muddier looking areas there, but I personally like that. Actually, I'm going to turn this around and see if there's a different way I like it. I guess I like it this way yet. So this is me just more of a kind of playing with things and giving you an idea of some of the fun you can have. And alcohol inks too, you know, even when they're drying, certain colors will pick up other colors underneath, and it's super fun. So before I let this dry too much, I'm going to hope that I have one more clean dental tool. And I'm actually going to take some of this here, and it's still kind of wet. Can you see somewhere it's kind of red? I'm going to pick a little bit of that up, and I'm just going to kind of dab around. And I'm just going to bring some out. And I'm not using the black for the center. So it almost looks like kind of a hole, or at least it does from this angle. From up here, it does too. Okay, so sometimes you have to look at it through your camera or your phone through different eyes, and you'll find some pretty cool things. Okay, so I think I'll take a little bit of this ink. And I'm going to kind of put it in the center. I'm going to find a white. Just going to kind of go around. See where it's dark here? I'm just going to kind of make a little bit of a like light in here. And it's still partly wet, so it's picking up, like making pink. Actually, I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to show it on there. There. That's why my fingers also look like this. So I'm going to go back in and get more of that and put it up here. Okay, so that's kind of a cool effect. And you can take these little tools. I think I don't have any clean ones up here. I'm gonna actually pour a tiny bit of alcohol on my table. It's old. It's been used plenty. I'm gonna take and just kind of rub this tool in it a little bit. Can you see? I don't know if you can see over here or not, but I just put a little bit of alcohol on just on a different surface. And so I put some on this tool, and now I'm gonna attack it with this. Here, I'll do it. I'll put it on here. Maybe it'll help before it dries up. It's just random dots, but see how it's picking up the colors underneath? It's really neat. And then I'm not using a clean one. I'm just, so it's picking up all kinds of colors. Okay. So, how does that look from up here? This is really kind of a style of when I first started doing these, and I just really had no idea what I was doing, and would discover these crazy random things that I could do with alcohol inks, and it's fun. So that's pretty much it for this one. So you get an idea of how to do a multicolored bloom, a little bit of a background, which you can do with tools. You don't need to have a center. If you want, you could certainly make your center like that, but you don't have to. I'm still putzing. And how some of the colors blend. Where's that dark one? Let's see if I can pick up a little darker. Let me find a little alcohol. See, now I'm on a roll. Now I have to overwork this piece completely. All right. And now I'm scaring myself. I don't want to ruin it. So I'll dab it. There. So it's just kind of a weird alien flower, but yeah, that gives you an idea of what you can do, and you can practice those multicolored blooms. A lot of times it's just a beautiful accident, and sometimes you don't know where it came from. Sometimes you want to chuck it. If I wanted to, I could put, you know, some just dots of blue and blow the blue out too or something, you know, but this was just a short kind of a bonus for you. And always remember to sign your art. Don't forget. Sign your art. The last thing actually I want to tell you is really important, and I don't want to forget. This is empty, but if you want to keep your art, alcohol inks are very sensitive to sunlight, to direct light, to UV. So you're going to want to do two things. You need to seal it first and use, it's called Kmart varnish. 1312 is what I use. I believe it's 1312. I have a couple of them, and I think one is a matte, one's a gloss. If you're particular, I like gloss, but the varnish will seal this without moving the inks. A lot of other sealers or clear coats, they'll shift the inks, and you might end up with absolute disaster. You might end up with a cool accident, but if you really like your art, don't risk it. Kmart varnish. I know there are a couple other ones. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but this is the one that I use. Then after I do about 3 coats, wait in between till it dries nicely, just light coats. You don't need to bathe it in it. Then use a UV coating, and then this will just give it a little bit of protection from UV. And if you hang up your artwork, just avoid sun. You know, you don't want it to be right in the sun, because it will fade. Even with the UV coating, it'll fade. And you want to preserve your art as long as possible. So I thank you and really appreciate everyone here and learning with me as I learn to do videos and how to actually teach things that's not in a classroom setting where people can ask questions and we can talk. I'm pretty much kind of, to put it bluntly, kind of freeballing it. And And I hope that this worked out for you. Once again, questions, feedback. My Facebook page is at Calnin Arts, CALNINARTS, and you're welcome to message me through there, or my website, but I prefer messaging through Facebook. It's just easier. And thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon.